So the big question is this: how are those in the self-storage industry like us going to be successful in today's market? That's the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is Jim Ross, and welcome to the Self-Storage Show.
Hi everyone, this is Jim Ross with the Self-Storage Show. Today we're going to continue our Storage Spotlight series. We got Michael Shipman from On the Move. You're the Chief Operating Officer, if I got that right?
Yes, sir, I am.
How's it going today?
It's going very good. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be somewhat famous, to take my voice that was made for radio and put it on a little bit of video. So
good. No, I'm always glad when people are game to come on video. I love the phone, all that kind of stuff, but I like to act like I'm actually talking to you. So this works out great. Like I was saying,
it makes for a better YouTube video than just an audio.
That's just it. Yep. We do the podcast, but it goes out for all the different Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and all that kind of stuff too. So those that are willing to come off a video, I appreciate it. Anyway, I came across.
Well, Jim, if you just let the people know, if you let the people know that that are listening to you on podcast, you know, they can't see me, you can vouch for me. Very good looking guy. They should go look it up on YouTube too.
Perfect. All right. Exactly. I'll do that in the intro. I'll paint a good picture for you.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Again, always reaching out to those in the industry and always, watching different articles and that kind of stuff. But kind of before we get into what we got you on the show today for, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found yourself in the industry here.
It's a very convoluted path that I got here, actually. So quite a few years in the military, and then I moved into an intelligence agency and spent the rest of my first career in that location. And so I'm actually a spy, or I was, but it sounds like it's really cool and high speed and everything like that. But let me tell you, it's like any other job. You got bosses and you got paperwork, and it is nothing like James Bond. So I got sold a bill of goods on that. After I got out of that, I actually started my own business. I've heard you say many times, how you kind of were drawn to an entrepreneurial bent, and the same thing was true for us, my wife and I. So we opened a financial planning practice, and we ran that for about 15 years or so. It was one of the ways that I met the CEO of On the Move, Susan Para, and she was, we'd known each other through that kind of an arrangement through my previous business. I did that for 15 years. And you know what? It was wonderful, and I had a great time and everything like that. But it was like just a mom and pop shingle, kind of hanging it out. And it got a little bit boring, and I kind of missed a group. And I missed kind of doing a little bit more multi-dimensional planning. And so Susan just called me. I think she called me the day before Thanksgiving last year and said, "Hey, I've been thinking." And then we chatted, and she offered me the job to come in here and kind of build on some of the things that On the Move has been doing for the last 27 years, and kind of shake things up a little bit, look at different ideas. And so I have found myself here for 7-8 months. So I'm into the self-storage industry. Boy, I had gone to some previous shows for other reasons that were kind of weird, and looked at doing it myself, building a facility, but in the location I wanted to use to be closer to kind of family and whatnot.
Yeah.
The numbers didn't work well. So I'm here and having a great time, and I got to meet you. Okay, one of my first famous guys that I've ever met. So thanks for having me on, Jim.
Yeah, don't say famous. You're making me red. I'm always red anyway. It's not making me even worse. No, I actually like it when people from a fresh perspective come in this industry, because, man, it's love the industry, but at the same time, it's a lot of the same talk, kind of over and over again, the same kind of philosophies and outlooks and strategies and that kind of thing. So I like it when someone comes in that's kind of fresh and has a different perspective, and that's kind of why I wanted you to have come on, because if you were going to talk about a little bit about some not the norm of some alternative revenue streams that people can try to implement.
Yeah, I think
you've seen. So
yes, sir.
Yeah,
I think one of the things that I've noticed is that even though there's the large trade shows that you can go to, and there's all kinds of state groups and things of that nature that you can go to, and there's always some type of a discussion about what's going on. I've noticed that in my short duration, I've really been looking into self-storage for about 2 years or so, though I've only been here for the 8 months, as I indicated.
Yeah.
But I started kind of the same things over and over, which is, while there still remains a strong demand for self-storage, that they're also noticing that there's a tremendous amount of saturation going on. Land costs are up, which is why we're building up now instead of out. Construction costs are also up. Build times are slower than they had been in the past. Rent growth, lease-up periods, slower than they have been in the past.
Yep.
So you hear these things and you hear that, and then you go to the different discussions that there are about different ways that you can make money in this particular industry. It tends to all be the same. You hear the same things over and over. And those are all good things, don't misunderstand me, but when you've heard, you should buy circular or high security locks, to provide them as a revenue generator and also to combat theft. And so you can hear that thing so many times before you either know it or you really don't care.
Sure.
One of the cool things I think about our job is that we work with such a breadth of folks. I mentioned it to you in some of our pre-discussion.
Yeah.
We work with mom and pops, just a small couple, an individual couple that got a great business going, and they've got their singular facility and they're happy with exactly where they're at and the relationships they built. That's great. And of course, we got the mid-level guys, guys that have 5, 7 types of facilities, and they're kind of really banging it hard for kind of business. And then you got the large management companies. So the good part about that is that we're in daily contact with all of those folks, and then also their providers. So every now and then you just hear something that is just new and innovative, or you see something that's new and innovative, and it really bangs. And so for me, that's what I wanted to share with you today.
Perfect. Like I said, it's being exposed to the people that are, doing all sorts of different things, and again, it's storage, but just being exposed and talking to people. Yeah. If your radar's up, you'll pick up a certain thing here and there. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea.
And sometimes I'm not sure if it kind of gets out in the ecosystem of our industry. And I'm not quite sure why that is, whether we're all busy or whatnot. And by the way, so I did want to make a point that I can't tell you how much I appreciate what it is that you do. The bottom line is that people are always willing to help in our industry, but it seems to me that it kind of gets overcome by events. Everybody's so busy that sometimes people don't take the time to share that knowledge, and you're making a cottage industry out of that. So I appreciate the fact that you're finding things that are interesting to people and putting it out there on a large scale. So God bless you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Like I said, it's just giving people a platform, basically, to get it out there. Plus, it'll be on there for a long time, so people can find this years down the road, probably. So anyway, let's just kind of jump into it a little bit. I'm just dying to hear myself. What have you found? What have you heard? What's interesting out there?
Though now most people know On the Move. Okay, we do the rental truck thing, but we do that just for local stuff. So 4th largest truck rental company in America. The number 3, 2, and 1 are kind of big, so it's going to take us a while to get over that. We do a couple of other things that generate business for us, which is revenue generation for our client partners. But one of the things that I found, as I mentioned, in the industry, we're seeing a lot of these similar things happen. There's potential overbuilding going on. There's rent rolls that are coming down or stagnating. And so one of the things that I kind of bumped into that I thought was really cool is that a self-storage facility really built itself a kind of a bank vault. Took an insubstantial amount of square footage, maybe several hundred square feet, so 3, 4 lockers, and did it inside their main building. And they turned it into essentially a safety deposit location. So I think you can look me up on LinkedIn, Mike Shipman, with On the Move, and I've got an article on there that'll give you some additional information. But
I'll link to it for sure.
Oh, thank you. And so one of the coolest things about that, I think, is that you might be running a nice climate-controlled locker, 10 by 15, 10 by 20, something like that, $150 a month. But you convert 3 or 4 of those things over, and it's going to cost some money to convert it over. But you could wind up with 1,000+ safety deposit boxes inside that thing. And of course, they don't have to be the safety deposit boxes exactly like you'd find in a bank, but They can be of different sizes because everybody's got something, not everybody, but almost everybody's got something that they'd like to have safe and secure. We can talk about the different ways that's safe and secure if you want to, but think of it very much like a bank, and they can keep it off-site. Now, here's one of the beautiful things about it. You already know there's a market. You know there's a market because every bank that's in your local area has safe deposit boxes.
Yeah.
By the way, it's not their big way of making money. And so as a result of that, they don't have tons and tons of them. And what I mean by that is they have plenty, but there's almost always a wait list that you're going to find. If you call a bank and you say, hey, I need a safety deposit box, there's always a wait list that you're going to run into. And a 10-inch by 10-inch box can usually run about $10 a month. Okay. So if you think about that, if all of your boxes that you have there are 10-inch by 10-inch boxes, and you've got 1,000 of them, you're making substantially more than you'd make if you were making $150 per month on that particular storage locker. So the market is certainly there. People are already using it. You can steal a lot of bank business, and there's a lot of people on waiting lists, and there's a lot more that would be using it if it were convenient. And as you saw in my article, if you see how banking has gone these days, they tend to have shorter hours where the front doors are open, a little bit longer hours when you're doing drive-through.
Sure.
You're not getting in there on a Saturday or a Sunday or at 6:30 at night or at 6:30 in the morning. So all of your stuff, no matter how cool it is going to be locked up until they're dadgum good and ready to give it to you.
That's true. Huh. That's just something I never have come across. I've never heard in all my years of someone doing that at a storage facility. So this is actually one they're open, they're doing it, and this is a service they're offering, huh?
It is. I'll tell you that you've got a very wide range of demographic that's kind of interested in this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But instead of going into all of that, I wanted to share the one that was kind of a little bit close to my heart, okay? So I'd mentioned to you that, when I started out, as an adult, had to find a job. So I had a great job with the Army. And so when I first started out, I was an enlisted guy. Later, I was an officer. But during either time, it doesn't make any difference. The military is always using firearms of one kind or another, okay? Big guns, little guns, all kinds of guns.
Yeah.
What? They've got like the most strict rules on how you're going to transport that gun when you're moving around base. And so it just gets to be an ever-loving pain in the behind. So if you've got a self-storage facility and you've got a good location near a military base of some kind, I will almost guarantee that, do a little bit of market research because I'm not really guaranteeing, but I'd almost guarantee that thing would fill up like this. If for no other reason than if you're living in a barracks, you don't want to, stuff that's really, truly important to you, if you've got it, you don't like leaving that in. You might be sharing the room with 1, 2, or, when I first started, I was sharing with 3 other people at the same time. Same thing if you have firearms. So if you're taking your firearm out for any kind of reason, you want to go shooting at the range, you want to go do some hunting, you want to do whatever, you've got to keep that in an arms room. And so getting into an arms room is more inconvenient than getting into a bank. So it's a pain. But imagine if right outside base, there's a very nice, very secure self-storage facility that has, elongated hours of access, or 24/7 for that matter. And some of them do. And you can just show up and pick up whatever you need to go, and you're zipping on out, as opposed to the 2 or 3 hours it takes you to transport that from wherever you're living on base, to get out the gate. And the same thing holds true for senior enlisted or officers that live on base in base housing. They have the same issues with firearms. They can keep them in their buildings, but they're just a pain to transport. And they want to follow the rules, and it's just very difficult to do. So you take a small base. I think in my article I mentioned Fort Polk, Louisiana, 8,500 active duty on that small little dinky base. So pretty easy to fill up 1,000 boxes in pretty short order once they find out what you got for them.
Again, just a whole other stream I never really never considered before. So I got to do my own research on this too. That's kind of the whole point, is just to talk about something that's, really not the norm for storage, at least maybe spark an interest and start delving into it yourself and getting some more information on it.
Yep. One thing I found very interesting when I was doing a little bit of research for the article is that, the one thing that, now, they don't want any bad stuff, right? Like illegal stuff, right? But the one thing that the bank doesn't want you to put in that safety deposit box, they frown on it. They tell you not to. They make you sign a paper not to.
Yeah.
Cash. They don't want cash in there. Well, you think about it, okay, most of your cash is probably in your bank. But if for whatever reason there's a situation, a hurricane comes through or natural man-made disaster, whatever, okay, those banks are going to be closed. And it might be nice to have a nice little chunk of change, a wad of cash in order to get to it or something of that nature. And you're not getting into it with the bank because the bank's not open until the emergency is over. And, ATM cards, debit cards, credit cards might have issues for all kinds of reasons. But a self-storage facility, bink, you're right in. You grab the things that you need, some identification, passports, whatever you might need, a little bit of wad of cash that you might be keeping there to get you past the hump. Okay, so banks don't want any part of that. And again, makes your market even stronger if you're providing this as a service, to your local clients.
Huh. Well, interesting. Now, like I said, I was trying to think more of a insightful comment to make on this, but I want to do some research on it myself to find out some more. So,
Jim, I have watched so many of your videos, and I don't think I've ever seen you at a kind of a loss for words. So
no, again,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think as far as like niche and kind of a market and something like this where it could work. And I'm opening up a site actually just about 10 minutes away from my house that we have we're not doing safe deposit boxes, but we have another room. It's right off the office. That's our extra secure units. That's where we're going to have double security and all that kind of stuff. So it's not that far off. It's one extra step, from having another niche to offer.
Yep.
No, it's got my wheels spinning, so that's good. I would do you a disservice though if I didn't. Since you're on the move, we're talking about additional revenue streams. Take 2 minutes, real quick, and give us a little pitch on the move services, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay. So here's the deal. Everybody's always trying to make more money, and there's lots of ways to do that. To make the money, by selling or providing something, a product or a service. That's great. The other thing is you can increase your rent rolls, okay? Have a higher occupancy rate. For us at On the Move, we hate to hear that anybody's got 100%, 98, 99, 100% occupancy. That's the worst occupancy rate you could possibly have. So we are very big into making sure that you're making money and you're also bringing in new clients. Our trucks are amazing for that. You've seen our trucks either at shows or on the road or around or whatever it happens to be. There's a truck if you look kind of above my head a bit. Okay, so those trucks are out there, but here's the deal. Everybody, God bless you. Everybody looks at it, and if they haven't got a lot of experience with it, they think, I can do that myself. And I'm here to tell you, you can. But it ain't going to cost you less than getting it through us. You'll get it cheaper if you get it through us. Here's the other thing. Those might look like some of the other trucks that you see floating around, but those trucks are specially made for On the Move. We have a special relationship with the guys who do the fabrication of the boxes. They are specially designed for the self-storage industry in a couple other markets that we've kind of spread out into. But the bottom line is you can't get that high quality, you can't get it cheaper, and you can't get it with the know-how, doing it on your own than you would if you came through us. So since I only had 2 minutes, okay, that's it right there. And those trucks should make roughly 50 plus grand a year. And that winds up being the equivalent of about 13 of your national brand trucks that are out there, rental trucks. It takes about 13 of those trucks to equate the same revenue that you'll make off of this one truck that belongs to you.
Perfect. You crammed a lot in a couple minutes, so hey.
You only gave me 2.
No, that's perfect though. Like I said, I had previous episode, forget what episode, I'll link it up, where I had an On the Move representative talk more in depth.
Yes, you had Brian Ratchet on.
Yep, there you go. Thank you very much.
Hey, Jim, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
my director of agency would kill me if I don't tell you, if you're looking for tenant protection, give us a look. And also, if you've got special property casualty insurance needs, our agency can also provide that. We've been working in the self-storage industry for a very, very long time. We know that line of business. So those are also product lines that we offer.
Cool. Well, people that want to reach out and get more information, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, we're pretty simple. Just look us up onthemovetrucks.com on the web, and you will find all of our information there. And I suspect that you might put a little bit of linkage in your YouTube or something of that nature. And if I was super compelling, then I think that folks will take the extra effort it takes to kind of look us up on the internet. Give us a call. We're at work today. And whatever day you're listening to this, we're at work today. Give us a call.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thanks, Mike, for taking the time and coming on. This has kind of opened my eyes to a few different things. So I'm going to start doing some research myself. So thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And thanks for having me. And thanks for what you're doing for the industry. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, man. Take care.
Good day, sir.
Thanks for supporting the show. I want to let you know that we've just opened up our brand new free private Facebook group. There I'll be having some extra special content not found anywhere else. If you really want your facility to be a success in today's market, then this is going to be the place for you. You can request to join us at selfstoragecommunity.com or search for Self Storage Domination Community on Facebook.